जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी माधव जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरवनचारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी यमुना तीरवनचारी हरे कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे श्री हरि राम नाम संकीर्तन की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Together. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki Krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 6, text number 16. So you can repeat after me. Oh, we are lucky today. Dhyayatascharanam bhojam bhava nirjita cetasa utkanthya shruka lakshasya hridya shinmeshaner hari Dhyayatascharanam bhojam bhava nirjita cetasa outkanthya shruka lakshasya charanam bhava nirjita cetasa outkanthya shruka lakshasya Yashin Hari Hridya Sinmeshaner Hari Dhyayatascharanam bhojam Bhava nirjita cetasa Outkanthya shruka lakshasya Hridya shinmeshaner hari Dhyayatam sharanam bhojam Bhava nirjita cetasa Outkanthya shruka lakshasya Hridya shinmeshaner hari. Anybody online wants to recite? All right. Word to word. Dhyayatah. Thus meditating feet of God. All mentals. Think. Outkanthya. Roll down. Up the heart. Personality of translation. As soon as I began to meditate on the lotus feet personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality of Godhead appeared on the lotus of my heart. Purport. The word bhava, the bhava stage is attained after one has translated. The stage is called shraddha or liking. In order to increase that liking, one has to associate with pure devotees of the Lord. The third stage is the practice The third stage is to practice the prescribed rules and regulations of devotional service. This will dissipate all sort of misgivings and remove all personal deficiencies that hamper progress in devotional service. When all misgivings and personal deficiencies are removed, there is a standard faith in transcendental matter, and the taste for it increases in greater proportion. This stage leads to attraction, and after this there is bhava, or the prior stage of unalloyed love for God. All the above different stages are but different stages of development of transcendental love. Being so surcharged with transcendental love, there comes a strong feeling of separation which leads to 8 different kinds of ecstasies. Tears from the eyes of a devotee is an automatic reaction, and because Sri Narada Muni in his previous birth attained that stage very quickly after his departure from home, it was quite possible for him to perceive the actual presence of the Lord, which he tangibly experienced by his developed spiritual senses without material tinge. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरों वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरसे नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Right. So, Hare Krishna. Very good morning to all of you. Thank you all for joining this in this morning SB class. Before starting anything, I would like to submit to all of you that as usual, I am absolutely not eligible to sit here on this Vyasasana and speak anything about this transcendental topic. So please, and this service has been given by His Grace Madan Sundar Prabhuji, and that is the reason I am sitting here and trying to speak something. So I am seeking all of yours blessing. If I am doing some mistake, please feel free to come to me. If not in the class, afterwards, please tell me if something was not correct or something can be improved. I will really be grateful if you do that. So, this verse, just to set the context, Narad Muni overall is describing about how he got his current transcendental spiritual body, right? And he is describing to Vyasadeva about how after the Bhaktivedantas left, he travelled after his mother departed, he then travelled north to different mines, forests, metropolitan cities, etc. Then eventually he sat under a tree, right, a banyan tree, and started to meditate. This was, and he started to meditate upon the Lord based on the instructions of the Bhaktivedantas, right, not on his own accord or on his own whims. He followed the process of the Bhaktivedantas, what he was instructed by the Bhaktivedantas, right. So in this verse, Narada the boy gets the darshan of the Lord, right. He is it is mentioned in the translation mentioned in this verse that Narada the boy got the darshan of the Lord in his heart, and Prabhupada mentions that through the transcendental senses or spiritual senses he could take the darshan of the Lord, right. Now if you see, overall we have been discussing about this entire incident, right, entire pastime of conversation between Narad Muni and Vyasdev since, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months now, right. And in the last few verses you will realize that in a very short span of time, Narada the boy basically got the darshan of the Lord, right. It is not mentioned anywhere that he did meditation for thousands of years like the different munis, and it is not mentioned. So we can safely assume that in very short span of time he got the darshan, right. So in this short number of verses, if you focus, Narad Muni has gone through these 3 aspects that we know, Sambandh, Abhidaya and Prayojan. Right? So first of all, he got the knowledge, right, about who he is, who is the Lord, what is the relationship between him and the Lord. This is the transcendental knowledge that he received from the Bhaktivedantas. Right? So this is the Sambandha Gyan. Right? Then next, he also received the knowledge about the process to follow. Right? He is following the process. So this is what this is Abhidaya, right. In the previous verse itself it was mentioned that he, what was it, Yatha Shrutam Achintayam, yesterday we read, right. So he applied his intelligence but based on the instructions that he received from the Bhaktivedantas. So this is Abhidaya, and then now in this verse, what is this? He is getting the darshan of the Lord, is basically this is the prayojan, right. He could see the Lord with his spiritual senses. Now, so as we said, all this happened in a very short span of time, right. Now if we think, how did this happen in a very short span of time? What were the specific qualities of Narada the boy which basically made him eligible for getting this prayojan or getting this darshan of the Lord in such a short span of time, right. So of course, it was the causeless mercy of the Bhaktivedantas, okay, I'm not saying that his qualities were the cause of that mercy that happened, but there is some eligibility, right? I hope you agree. Uh, but of course, the mercy is causeless. There is no cause of the mercy of the Bhakti Vedantas. Some time back, I was hearing hearing from His Holiness Radha Govind Swami Maharaj, and in his short, voice notes that are being sent, he was explaining about this causeless mercy. He said causeless mercy is like a river that is flowing from up the hill down the hill, right? And whatever is covered, stones, pebbles, grass, small plants, everything that is covered by that river is getting that mercy. There is no distinction between what is there. Everything that falls in that line is getting the mercy. So causeless mercy is like that, right? There is no eligibility as such. Everybody gets it. But he said, but there is still certain hills who are standing taller than that hill, certain trees which are standing tall, which may not get covered by that mercy. So there is some eligibility also, that humility, humbleness, submissiveness is required to also receive that causeless mercy, right? So what do you think? It's a question to all of you. What do you think, what were the qualities of Narada the boy had?
What content is mentioned, like eagerness?
Eagerness, correct. Eagerness he developed, in that final stage. But before that, think about what qualities.
He is humble.
He is humble, yes.
He was
Eagerness.
Grave. He was grave.
Grave, very good. He was very grave and had what? Unnecessary.
He would not speak anything unnecessary.
Correct. So, Vacho Vegam, already. Speaking very less, correct.
Service attitude.
He had a service attitude, correct.
Strong faith.
Strong faith. Who said?
Vedantas.
On the Bhakti Vedantas, correct. Had complete faith on the instructions of the Bhakti Vedantas. Anything else? Anything else that you can think of, all these different verses we have discussed?
He was not like other child. He would not waste his time in playing.
He was not naughty and he was not involved in any kind of unnecessary sports activities. Yes.
Tolerant.
He was tolerant. Yes.
Submissive. Towards
Submissive. Yes. Any other quality? He was detached. He had detachment. We know that. He was fearless. He went through all these forest areas where, he was fearless, Then other things that I have mentioned is he was gentle in behavior, self-controlled, as you said, no sports, etc. Right? So all these were some of the qualities that Narada the boy had. And when we are discussing about all this short span of time, these were qualities which basically made him eligible, first of all, right, to get that causeless mercy, and then in a short span also the darshan to the power that minutes, will does that. So, but again, start thinking from the beginning. When the Bhaktas arrived, when the Narada the boy was living with his mother, two things happened which started all this. A month back, we were seeing so many in something happened.
He did menial service.
Like, important he started is he did menial services and he did these services personally, right? He was not expecting any return. In his mind also he was not having a thought that okay, if I do this I will get that. Nothing like that. He was doing services to these great souls unconditionally, right? And because of that, what happened? Which changed the complete course of his life. Anybody? Causeless mercy. In what form? Yes. Who said? So he got the uchishtha, right? He got the remnant of the foodstuff. He honored that remnant of foodstuff left by the Bhaktivedantas or the great souls, right? And it is mentioned is just once, and with that once, that was the turning point, right? It was a booster to his spiritual life. That changed, it eradicated in one shot all his sins. That is what mentioned in the verses, right? He got purified and he got infected with the love of God, with that uchishta, right? And then what happened, all the glories of the Lord that the Bhaktivedantas were singing and speaking about, that started sounding very, very sweet to him, and he got so much attracted to hearing the glories of the Lord, right? So this is the power of uchishtha, right? Sometime back, I think we had this verse itself, right, where His Grace Ramakrishna Prabhu was speaking about this wonderful personality called Kalidas. Remember, it was here only, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Kalidas. And who was that other Vaishnav whom he was behind? See, Kalidas was a person who did not leave anybody in his town, any Vaishnava in the town, to get the uchishta of that Vaishnav, right? Jadu Thakur, right? So that episode, Prabhuji Ramakrishna Prabhu explained very nice, that gives the importance of uchishta, right? And there is a very famous bhajan also sung by Narottam Das Thakur, right? Dhana Mora Nityanand. In that, what is the line that comes? Vaishnavera pad dhuli tahe mora snan keli tarpan mora Vaishnavera naam. And then in the next line, Vaishnavera uchishtha tahe mora mananishtha Vaishnavera namete ullasa. Very, very famous bhajan. So what Narottam Das Thakur says, first line, Vaishnavera padadhuli tahe mura snana keli, means he wants to bathe in the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. And he says tarpan mora Vaishnavera nam, means tarpan is satisfaction. So I get satisfaction in chanting the names of the devotees. That's what he says. Then what else? Vaishnavera uchishta, right? Tahe mora manishta. He says my mind is fully convinced of the benefit of taking the remnants of the foodstuff left by the devotees. He's fully convinced of that. And Vaishnavera naam ullas, right? Namete ullas. That is, he says that the names of the devotees gives me happiness. So here he is glorifying the devotees, right? So Narada the boy got the uchishta of the pure devotees of the Lord, right? And that was the causeless mercy. There is also one in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this we have discussed that also. Ramakrishna Prabhu mentioned this during this uchishta topic, right? Teen Mahabal. What are the Teen Mahabal? Anybody knows? Correct. Bhakta pada dhuliyara, bhakta pada jal, bhakta bhukta avashesha, teen mahabal. Right? The dust of the feet of the devotee, the water that has washed the feet of the devotee, and the remnants of the food left by the devotee are the three very powerful substances. These are the boosters one can get in one's spiritual life. And this is one of the booster that Narad Muni got, Narada the boy got at the very beginning of his spiritual life, and that really boosted it, right? So now coming back to the purport, where Srila Prabhupada briefly describes the stages of bhakti, right? The 9 stages of bhakti that we know, from Shraddha to Prema. And the verse mentioned that Narada the boy was at the Bhava stage, right? This word is mentioned, Bhava Nirjita, which says that mind transformed in the transcendental love of the Lord. Now in the Chaitanya Charitamrit, Apurva Govind Prabhu, in Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya Leela 23.14-15, if you can share, Basically, these 9 stages have been mentioned. Right? We will recite that and then we will discuss about that. 23.14-15. Okay. So we'll recite Ashraddha Sadhu Botha Bhajana Kriya Nivritti Syat Tato Nishta Ruchistatah Atha Shaktistatha Bhavas Tata Premabhyu Danchati Sadhakanamayam Premna Pradurbhave Bhavet Kramaha. So translation is, in the beginning there must be faith, then one must become interested in associating with pure devotees, thereafter one is initiated by the spiritual master and executes the regulative principles under his orders. This is Bhajana Kriya. Thus one is freed from all unwanted habits and becomes firmly fixed in devotional service. This is Anartha Nivritti. Thereafter one develops taste and attachment. This is the way of sadhana bhakti, the execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles. Gradually emotions intensify and finally there is an awakening of love. This is the gradual development of love of Godhead for the devotees interested in Krishna consciousness. Right? These are 9 stages of bhakti. We have also those who have attended Bhakti Shastri course who would have learnt about this. Right? I was hearing about one very beautiful analogy His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj has given to explain this. I don't know if many of you would have already heard about this fisherman example. Have you all heard? In explaining this 9 stages of bhakti. Oh, okay, good. Then it will be a good lesson for us. So, the analogy is related to a young fisherman whose goal is to catch some fishes from in the sea, right? And catch some fishes and then sell it to get some money. That is his goal. So, what is the goal of the devotees? What is the goal for the devotees? Krishna Prem. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses and to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prem. Right? So that is analogy. Fisherman's goal is to catch fish, sell and get some money. Devotee's goal is to get Krishna Prem. Right? That is the 9th stage of bhakti. Now, at the beginning, if you think about Shraddha, fisherman, imagine now fisherman is standing on the shore of the ocean and he has some little bit of faith that if he reaches the deep sea, then he may be able to catch some fish. That's kind of a Shraddha that he has, okay, that faith. And how did he get this faith from? He getting that faith from some knowledge from his elders, etc. He has some knowledge that if he goes in the deep sea, he will be able to see fishes and catch fishes. Right? That is, so if you see, knowledge and faith is like a circle. How does faith develop? Through knowledge. And then once the faith develops a little bit, then you get more knowledge, right? And then with more knowledge, you have more faith. So it's like a circle, right? Vishwakiran Prabhu knows. Initially when you go to certain colleges for preaching, you give some knowledge, very initial high level knowledge, which develops some kind of faith. With that some kind of faith, people come for additional knowledge, right? And then the next stage of sadhu sangha will happen, right? And you associate with devotees. Yeah, so this is a circle of knowledge and faith. Now, some people may have some small faith in Lord. In Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned, right? What kind of 4 type of people who approach the Lord? What are those 4? Artho, Artharthi, Jnani, Jigyasu. So these are the initial guys who who are category of people who approach the Lord, they start the sadhu. So in terms of now he got that faith. Now fisherman associates with his elders, with his experienced fishermen who are around to understand how he can achieve. Goal is correct, right? And then with the sadhanga, with the dead, when people come in and then get more knowledge about how to execute the 9 angas that are there, 9 do this Smadhyam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedam, etc. Right? So all this understanding of knowledge comes, this is that when he comes in contact with the devotees or sadhu sangha happens, right? And fisherman is getting in touch with the elders. The third kriya, bhajan is come to action. So after getting all this knowledge, the young fisherman picks up, starts boat, starts putting it in the shore of the sea, starts pushing it, starts peddling it, and starts to go inside, right? And similarly, the devotees, after getting the sadhu sangha, getting the knowledge, he starts these different angas and starts practicing devotional services, right? And that's the third stage. So you start the bhajana kriya. Then fourth is what? When the fisherman starts rowing, goes inside, huge waves he faces. He faces waves, he cannot easily go inside the deep sea. Initially, in the sea you will get huge waves. What are these waves? These are nothing but the obstacles that come in the path of all devotees, right? So, and that will not allow the fisherman to move ahead, right? Now, what are the different kinds of obstacles a devotee who is trying to practice bhajana kriya will face? Different obstacles that you face from your family members. You may face that, you may say that, "Arey, kya umar hai? This is not the right age. After retirement, you should continue." Or you may get it from the society, or you may get it from your job, in your job, your colleagues, your boss. You will say that, "What is this? You are not eating this. Why?" Some different kinds of obstacles you will get, or the obstacles may be in the form of health issues that one may get, which may prevent one from practicing your sadhana, right? So, or family members, as we said, spouse, kids may create some kind of obstacles. Or there are different kind of anarthas also, like that you have from your past lives or your past activities, like all these different anarthas like lust, anger, greed, right, envy, etc. That again creates certain obstacles. In as per this Madhurya Kadambini, there are 4 types of anarthas that have been mentioned. First one is mentioned as dushkrutotha, right, which is mentioned as impediments arising from previous sinful activities, right, and this refers to the kleshas, that something like absorption in material objects, then material attachment and hatred, right? These are the types of impediments arising from previous sinful activities. Second is sukrutotha, which is impediments that arise due to past pious activities. One is sinful activities, second is pious activities. So even because you get absorbed in various types of material facilities that you get, right, and that also creates an impediment, right. And then third is abdhotha, impediments arising from the past, and it was mentioned in that Madhurya Kadambini that this refers to holiness and not, and is impediments that arises due to imperfectly formed. Now if you the fishermen, if they are coming, they will keep pedaling, right, they will keep playing slowly. Even if your boat gets by the big, go keep pedaling, you will be able to see, right. Even what happens is, 2 fishermen boats, because of the big weather, and then they, right, the fishermen come and complain, because of you this clash happened. I know that this is because wave by nature, these changes are happening, and then you continue your own middle. So similarly, impediment may come in devote life. You may have certain clashes with individual actions of that, right? Is because of the modes of the nature that are happening, and because of certain previous reactions that these reactions, right? Previous actions. So the fisherman continues paddling, overcomes the big waves that are coming, reaches the deep sea. This is the stage of nishtha. If overcome this obstacle stage is the anartha, and this stage, after you finally reach the deep, very peaceful, and everything is calm. This is nishtha. And what is nishtha? After getting good, after free cleansed from all anarthas, this is the stage devotee unwavering practices. And this another term of called nisthita bhajana kriya. Nisthita bhajana kriya, right? But devotees don't stop at nishtha stage. Right? They want to go ahead. Right? Similarly, fishermen stopping after good action. So now what the fisherman sees in the deep sea, he starts seeing the fish. So now this ruchi is developing. Right? So that means getting closer to the mission and feeling devotee knows bhajana kriya in pure spirit we call chi. Now then again Madhurya, that is like performing particular limb of bhakti or anga bhakti. What is called ruchi? Feel rate of person. When ruchi awakens, a person does not experience even thinking and devotion. He in fact feels right. This ruchi quickly makes the devotee addicted to his practice of angas of bhakti. He becomes addicted. Now, in other words, ruchi leads to awakening of attachment, right? And that is nothing but asakti. Ruchi and asakti are distinguished by the asakti being mature. So when this intensity matures, that is asakti, right? And after ruchi and asakti, the stage of bhava comes. This is where the boy is ready, right? When he is the darshan of this. In such a short span of time, he has stage 7 stages already of bhakti, and he is in bhava stage, right? Finally, the fisherman, example of fisherman, he starts seeing the fishes. Now at the first step to catching the fishes and getting it into the boat. But is this final destination? What is his final destination? His final destination is to take this fish into the market, sell it, and get wealthy. Right. So this that is his goal. So goal what is to reach the next stage, that is stage. Right. So in again Madhurya Kadambini, it is mentioned that if prema is compared to the sun, one can understand bhava to be the initial rays of sun. Now, since Prabhupada has mentioned about bhava, let's try to see what definitions have been given by our acharyas in same chapter, in chapter number 23 itself, 23.4. This is Prabhu is explaining the benefit of devotional service to Sanatana Goswami. Okay. Not slow internet. Huh? So the Krishnari Sai Bhav Nama, right? So transfection of deeper is love of Godhead in devotional service. Such a position is called Sthai Bhava, enjoyment of the mellows of devotional service. What is mellows? Mellows is the rasas. So he gets a permit of what are the rasas, the different rasas. 5 rasas are enjoyment of rasas. Next 3.5. विशेषात्मा प्रेम सूर्यांशु रुचिरेश्चन्या उच्यते in the transcendental platform of pureness is like a ray of love or Krishna. At such a time, devotional service causes heart to be softened by various tastes, which rasas, and one is then situated in bhava. Right. So what it says is the first ray of the sun is called bhava, right? And second is softens the heart, so that the devotee can experience those rasas, dasya, sakhya, madhurya, shanta, vatsalya, those rasas he can start in this bhava. Right? Now let's discuss characteristics of bhava. Everybody who has done, we have discussed in the NOD section. And moksha, laghuta, krita. Sudurlabha and moksha, laghuta. Sudurlabha, very rarely. Durlabha, Sudurlabha. 2 characteristics of bhava, they come to the 6 their symptoms maybe. Yeah. is moksha lutakrit. It surfaces that we have here. Moksha becomes insignificant or worthless at this stage. Right? So that is Prabhupada also mentioned about this in his purport. It generates 8 types of ecstatic symptoms or ecstasies. Ashta vikara that we say, right? Yeah. 8 ecstatic symptoms.
Perspiration, crying,
Correct.
shivering.
So becoming stunned is first. Firing that you said. Third is standing of the hair on the body, faltering of the voice, trembling of the body, changing of bodily colors, becoming pale, right, and shedding of tears and in trance. Right? These are these 8 ecstatic symptoms, right? But one may think, sometimes we think even in material life we see these kind of symptoms, right? Does that mean somebody is in bhava state? Like, if you are seeing some emotional movie, you start, some people may start rolling down tears, right? They may get emotional. Or if you see in some rock concerts, and dancing, they look to be in complete ecstasy. Does that mean they're in bhava state? All right. So these are kind of perverted reflections of the actual bhava, actual ecstatic. So because they have not paid the real price. Right? What is the real price? Right? Surrendering to the Guru and following the instructions or following the process. That is what Narada Muni did. He was completely surrendered to the Bhakti Vedantas. He followed the process or instructions given by the Bhakti Vedantas, and hence he could reach to this stage of bhava where the tears rolling down his eyes that is mentioned in this verse is really one of the ecstatic symptoms and not something which can be taken as material. Right? So, to conclude, I would like to end this with the 9 symptoms that manifest in one's behavior. So, how do we know one is in a stage? Apart from those ecstatic symptoms, but in a normal context, normal, any specific symptoms that can indicate that this person is in a bhava stage? Correct. So, if you go to this CC Madhya, again same 23, same chapter 23, everything is in this chapter 23, 18, 19. Yeah. Very slow. Together. Viravyatakalatvam viraktirmanashunyata आशाबंधः समुक्तांथ नाम गणे सदा रुचि आसक्तिस्तद्गुणाख्याने प्रीतिस्तद्वसति स्थले इत्याद्यो नुभावस्युर् जात